Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sara and in this episode of Unfiltered, I'm taking a real life coaching session with my clients and giving their stories here to help you break free from toxic cycles and understand the psychology behind relationships. Today, we're diving into a massive topic. What happens when someone builds a fantasy relationship in their head and you're the unsuspecting star of their delusion? Let's get into it. So, have you ever had someone act like you were meant to be together even when you barely knew them? Maybe you dated briefly, or perhaps not at all, but suddenly they've planned the wedding, picked the baby names, and decided you're soulmates. This isn't love, it's obsession, attachment, and pure delusion. And sometimes it escalates into something quite dangerous. Let's talk about why it happens and how to protect yourself from it. So let's look at where fantasy relationships begin. Fantasy-driven relationships aren't about love, they're about escaping reality. These people don't just have vivid imaginations, they rewrite reality to fit their emotional needs. This often starts in childhood, when they have grown up in unstable homes and craved perfect love to escape their pain. They've confused infatuation with real connection. They were exposed to extreme romantic idealization in the media, believing love is instant, dramatic, and destined, and struggled with rejection and learnt to rewrite reality in their heads. This isn't just daydreaming, it's a psychological coping mechanism. And when reality doesn't match their script, they force it to. So, how fantasy relationship builders think? These people operate in their own world where feelings override facts. If they feel connected to someone, then it must be real. They then create signs that don't exist. A casual glance, destiny, a kind text, proof of love. They ignore reality checks. Even if they're told clearly that there's no interest, they reinterpret the words to fit their fantasy. They future plan without consent. They tell family and friends that the relationship is meant to be, even when it's not on the same page. They rewrite rejection as tests. If they hear no, they believe it's just a challenge to prove love. And then the truth bomb. A real relationship requires two people agreeing on the same reality. If one person is living in a dream world, it's not a relationship. And when fantasy turns into an obsession, not all fantasies turn dangerous, but when someone crosses the line into obsession, then things get just a little serious. Constant messaging and love bombing, flooding with attention, trying to create an instant connection. Then we get the guilt and emotional manipulation of "I've waited for you for so long," or "this is fate." Then ignoring boundaries, pushing even after being rejected. And then the big one, stalking behaviour, showing up unexpectedly, tracking social media, trying to insert themselves into someone else's life. Anger and possessiveness. When the fantasy is challenged, they lash out. "If I can't have you, no one else can." And the red flag is someone acts like they own you. After barely knowing you, you're dealing with a fantasy-driven attachment. And then the real story, when it gets too real. So let's talk about a real life scenario with a client of mine where someone found themselves at the corner of someone else's delusion. They met once, just once. They were polite, smiled, said hello. That was it. But in the other person's head, that hello became a love story. Messages poured in, convinced that the connection was meant to be. Friends were told that it was destiny. They started showing up at work, just happening to be there. When they were blocked, well, they found other ways to stay connected through friends, gifts, notes. And then one day there was a message that said, "I know where you live." And that's when they realised this wasn't just some harmless fantasy, it was an obsession. And they did the right thing. They took action. And if you ever find yourself in this position, you need to do exactly the same. So, how to shut down and protect yourself? Step 1. Be blunt and unmistakably clear. No soft rejections. And say, "I don't see a future with you. I'm not interested. This is over." Step 2. Block and cut contact. Fantasy-driven people don't handle friendly distancing. You need a hard stop. Third step. Don't argue with their delusion. They will twist your words. The more you explain, the more they believe they still have a chance. And then the next one is a big one. Silence is more powerful. Then take action if needed. If they persist, warn them once. After that, legal steps, no hesitation. And on the reframe for you, you don't owe anyone their version of reality. Your no is final. And my closing comment is this. This is real. It happens more than you think. And the sooner you recognize the red flags, the safer you will be. So I have a question for you. Have you ever experienced someone building a fantasy relationship in their head about you? Drop me your story in the comments below. I want to hear how you handled it. I love reading what you have to say, and I love writing back to you too. And if this video helped you, please don't forget to like, share, and of course subscribe, and hit the bell for the notifications for more deep dives into relationship psychology and self-protection. Stay safe, stay strong, and I will see you in my next episode of Unfiltered. Until then, bye.